Hi friends, welcome to Kitty's Bible and Other Stories with Miss Han. Today, I want to talk about the story of Joseph Part 2. If you haven't watched Part 1, please do so. I talked about Joseph, the dreamer, and now I want to talk about Joseph, dreams come true. Joseph, dreams come true. And I want you to pay attention because afterwards I'll be asking you a question. Now, let's dive together. Once upon a time, in the land of Egypt, there was a young man named Joseph. Joseph was a servant in the house of a rich and powerful man named Potiphar. Joseph worked very hard and was always honest. Potiphar noticed how trustworthy Joseph was and put him in charge of everything in his house. But one day, something bad happened. Potiphar's wife told a lie about Joseph, saying that he had done something wrong. Even though Joseph was innocent, Potiphar believed his wife and threw Joseph into the prison. It seemed like everything was going wrong with Joseph, but he kept trusting in God. While Joseph was in prison, he met two of Pharaoh's servants. These men had strange dreams that they didn't understand. God helped Joseph explain the meaning of their dreams. He told one of them, the cupbearer, that he would soon be released and go back to work for Pharaoh. But he told the baker that he would not have a happy ending. Just as Joseph said, the cupbearer was released and the baker was not. Some years later, Pharaoh himself had strange dreams. He was very worried because no one could tell him what the dreams meant. Then the cupbearer remembered Joseph, the man who had explained his dream to him while he was in prison. Pharaoh called for Joseph, and Joseph explained the dreams, and he said there would be 7 years of plenty where lots of food would grow, followed by 7 years of famine where no food would grow. Pharaoh was so impressed with Joseph's wisdom that he made Joseph the prime minister of Egypt. Wow! Joseph was now in charge of gathering and storing food during the 7 good years so that everyone would have enough to eat during the 7 bad years. Joseph, who was once a servant and a prisoner, now became the most powerful man in Egypt after Pharaoh. As the years of famine began, people from all over came to Egypt to buy food because only Egypt had enough stored up. One day, Joseph's brothers, who had sold him to Egypt many years ago, came to buy food too. They bowed before Joseph, not knowing who he was. Joseph recognized them, but they didn't recognize him. They were very hungry and needed food for their families. Joseph wanted to see if his brothers had changed. So after some time, he saw that they were sorry for what they had done to him. Finally, Joseph couldn't keep it a secret any longer. He told his brothers, I am Joseph, your brother, whom you sold into Egypt. The brothers were shocked and scared, thinking that Joseph would be angry with them. But Joseph said, don't be afraid. You meant to harm me, but God used it for good. He brought me here so that I could save many lives, including yours. Wow. Joseph forgave his brothers and invited them to bring their families to Egypt, where they would have plenty of food and be safe from the famine. Joseph's dreams had come true, and he was reunited with his family. Wow, I so much love the story of Joseph. Friends, what is the moral lesson? The story of Joseph teaches us to trust in God's plan, even when life is hard. Do not forget, in the story, Joseph was faced with many challenges, but he kept believing in God. And in the end, what happened? His dreams came true. Okay, before I go, friends, I have a question for you. Why did Joseph go to prison? Why did Joseph go to prison? Alright, friends, the answer is Joseph went to prison because Potiphar's wife told a lie about him, even though he was innocent. Oh, this is so interesting, and I'm sure you've learned one or two things. So friends, I still have many more stories for you. Do well by subscribing and like. See you next time. Bye.